Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mo. Today I would like to continue talking about becoming an international artist, like continuing yesterday's topic, because becoming international is such a beautiful lifestyle, but there are a lot of setbacks and difficulties and also common mistakes and failures. I have seen many unfortunate events that is completely unplanned, a lot of setbacks. Like I have met an American artist in China who got deported from China, and he thought it would be easy for him to stay in China, obtain a work visa, but it wasn't that easy. He had the wrong information from someone else he heard, and then he just assumed, and then he overstayed the visa, couldn't get a new visa, and he overstayed a little more, he got deported, and for the rest of his life he will not be able to ever come back to China again, and this is a price to pay. Again, I saw another artist, a French artist in Australia. He came on a work holiday visa. He thought he could have a job easily and then just work half-time, paint half-time, and in the end of the 1 year, he wanted to become a professional artist in Australia. But then halfway through Australia, when he was traveling and working, he lost his job. He became homeless, living in his car, and that was not really easy for him, and he couldn't find a place to paint. And it's just something that he had not planned, and it's something that we don't want to live. Like you go to a foreign country, you thought life is going to be good, full of amazing experiences, and suddenly you're homeless and you're in your car. It's something that we want to prevent, and that's why I find it very important to talk in the next few minutes about the common mistakes artists make when they go global. The first most common mistake would be this gold rush effect. Like you decided to go to a place to find your success because other people have found their success there. Maybe you see a famous artist on Instagram having this exhibition in the Grand Palais in Paris, and you're like, oh, I'm as good as him or her, I could make it in Paris too. And you buy your one-way ticket to France. Maybe you will not have the same opportunity or chance or pure luck than another artist, and you couldn't access the same opportunities and you couldn't succeed there. And then you can see another, perhaps YouTube influencer sipping on a fresh coconut in the beach of Thailand, and you think, wow, that's a very good life, I want to go there, I love the sea. And when you go there, you find that you don't speak the language, you have nobody to talk to, and again, like you can be very frustrated. You see another artist in Berlin, in London, in New York, and you're like, oh, if I can make it in New York, I can make it anywhere. And you go to New York, again, you might not find your opportunities there. You have to analyze what are your strengths and try to find a strategy that works for you, because you are not any other artists and your art is different. I hope at least it's very different from any other artist around you. So you don't follow these trends, don't follow other people's advice when they just tell you, oh, it's easy to make it there. It's easy for them, doesn't mean it's easy for you. You have to see what is the best strategy for yourself, for your art business, and plan well and make those decisions, especially what is the right place where you want to go to become international. And this is very crucial. The second mistake would be the lack of planning. Do you know what visa do you need to go there? Can you work on this tourism visa? Of course not. But what visa can you get to work there as an artist? Do you have a place where you can live and work at the same time? If you don't have an artist's residency offer, maybe you have to find a location for work and for living, and you have to have this financial resources to cover both costs. And maybe halfway there something could happen, or an amazing thing could happen that you need a little bit money to make this opportunity happen for you, and you need to have that money, the resources. You need to have for example, the language or the good understanding of the cultural landscape, the art market in that local place, the city, the country, the region, and it's not just a rush of blood to your head. And maybe it's great for a trip and you're like, oh, I want to go to Bali. That's great. Like you can take a trip there, you just need to grab your passport and have a visa on arrival. When it comes to working professionally, practically you are starting a business in a foreign country and you need plenty of preparation, planning, and you can't just decide right away. Do a lot of research beforehand. If you are not sure, my advice is don't do it yet. If you're not sure about which country or which language or which region, which strategy, just stop everything, put it on the side to cool down a little bit. Instead of investing the money and time for your trip, try to invest this smartly in your, for example, communication. upgrade your website, install a Shopify or WooCommerce web store so you can start selling your art on the internet and becoming international without having to move from your home. And perhaps this is the right strategy for you. You never know. So when you're not sure, don't move just like blindly, because you can get again into trouble, and when you have trouble in a foreign country, it's different. You don't have the support of your family and friends, and you don't have the same like familiarity and experience that you could rely on when you solve the problems in a foreign country. The third common mistake is the wrong communication. As an international artist, you need to rethink about your communication strategy. For example, I met an artist through our Instagram, Very Private Art, and he told me that he would love to become an international artist, selling art on his own website, charging his client through Shopify. He was asking me a lot about Shopify, WooCommerce, which one's better. During the conversation, I realized that he is an artist from Lagos, Nigeria. And Lagos in Spanish means lakes, and I could imagine that it's a beautiful location. I checked up on the internet. It is a very good economy in Nigeria as well, and it's going to be a very amazing city in the future with a lot of potential. However, what people do in Lagos, Lagos in Spanish means lakes, and what people do in the lakes? Maybe fishing. I'm sorry to say, I mean, I know it's a bit rude to say, but Lagos, Nigeria is also known globally for the fishing on the internet, for the scams. And if he wants to sell his art on the internet with his own name on his own website, like for a collector, without meeting him to pull out the credit card and enter all the credit card information, it's very difficult being a Nigerian artist from Lagos. So I would recommend him to rework his online strategy, and perhaps by starting selling on maybe a platform first. He must make himself more well-known, more established on the internet, and he needs to transmit the message of professionality and trust. Otherwise, his collectors will not want to pull out the credit card and pay online directly to him, because it could be phishing, could be scams. So when you go international, you need to rework your communication and make sure that it is aligned with your international strategy. I'm saying all of this not to discourage you. I think you have still a lot of like good things becoming international. You have a lot of advantages, and you get to basically reborn as an artist. Not in the country that you are physically born, you have a choice to choose to start over in a new location, which could be a great opportunity for anyone, not any profession, not just artists. However, there are a lot of difficulties and chances to fail. It's not like failure proof. According to the national survey in the USA, only 10% of the art school graduates could make it as a professional artist, earning their primary income from making art. So as an international artist, it's not going to be easier. I would say it's going to be more difficult if you are not prepared to start a new life in a foreign country or sell to the world, because you need certain skills that perhaps you don't have, or certain experiences and certain kind of qualities that the international artist must have in order to succeed, that you are not prepared for when you are working, operating in your home country. And that's why I want to mention those things to you, just for the precaution. If you have any questions, make sure that you leave me a comment below. I would love to hear from you. What are your strategies of becoming an international artist? Thank you very much for watching this video. Give it a like if you like this video. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.